general rules of health. Leolam, never. Lo yachal adam ela kashur re'ev. Don't emotionally eat. I guess what you call it today's language. Emotional eating is not good. Eat while you are hungry. You don't have to be starving hungry, but before you eat, you should make sure that you need to be a little bit hungrier.
But if you don't get hungry?
Person does not get hungry, then they probably have to, fair question, then it has to be a routine, Has to be a routine, because everyone's got to eat, right? I mean, a person doesn't eat, they die, right? Which is, I'm not just being facetious, we're going to see that food and drink are the key ingredient that keep body and soul together. You can give up many physical vices and still be alive. Food and drink, this all goes back, we're going to see, to Adam and Chava that sinned with food, and the laws of kashrut are going to be connected to that concept. Kashrut is connected to this concept, but this is healthful eating, right? Of how to do it in a responsible way. Don't be over drinking. He's not just talking alcohol, by the way. And do not delay your nekavav. What are nekavav? We say nekavim, chalolim. After going to the bathroom, do not delay going to the bathroom for even a moment. That is a mitzvah. That's how to make going to the bathroom a mitzvah. Afilu rega achad, ella, kol zman, shetzarech lashtin, or lasek reglav, as soon as you need to use the bathroom or urinate, yamod miyad, go do it immediately. The Rambam is going to mention this a bunch of times, and this is actually based upon the Gemara. The Gemara says that health in general is based upon a regular bowel movement. Okay? By the way, as a side point, it is forbidden to pray if you need the bathroom. Right? It's Baal Teshak, so you should not pray in the bathroom. Well, that's actually to defecate. If you need to urinate, you may be able to, actually, as a side point. Okay, but you need to use the bathroom, you should do it straight away. Okay, number 2. We're on page 10. Lo yachal adam, a person should not eat ad shetimalek reso, until they are stuffed full. And by the way, the Vilna Gaon adds to this, interestingly, even on Shabbat. You should have better foods and delicious foods on Shabbat as the mitzvah, but he says people mistake that to think they should stuff themselves. There is no mitzvah ever to stuff yourself, right? You know, when you finish off your chillin and you're lying there and you can't move, you're like, oh, I can't move. Okay? That is not recommended. According to the Rambam, it's probably a problem, right? As the famous joke of Avad Yosef is, Mish ochel chulent b'Shabbat, whoever eats chulent to Shabbat, chayav mita. That was the joke. Chayav mita means liable for the death penalty. It means chayav to go to bed. Mita is bed as well, because it makes you sleepy. It's called stuporific. It's a good English word, that. Foods that make you sleepy. Stuporific. Okay, enough of that. So he says a person should not eat till they're completely full. So how much should a person eat? Until they are revia misvato, until they're about 3/4 full. I'm not sure exactly how to gain that precise amount, but that is how much. By the way, do you know how big your stomach is? A regular stomach? I think even one fistful. So that means probably your average meal should be 3/4 of a fist amount of food. It's not much. It's probably not that much, to be honest with you. Okay. How about drinking? Don't drink too much while you are eating during the meal. Elamat, a little bit, umazog biyayin. Now, this may sound unusual to you, but people used to mix wine into their water, or actually mix water into their wines. Right? Wine used to be one of the main liquids that people would drink during a meal. It may still be for many of you, but it can't be because most of you are under 21. But that means you've never tasted wine before. Oh, that must be difficult. Yeah, that's right. Nice try. Okay? So he says, when should you actually drink? He says, rather, you should not drink much water, but even when the food is digested. But he says, after the meal, he's going to say you should drink water to wash down the meal itself. Okay? Then he says, a person should, and this is actually the next piece I know is from a Gemara. The Gemara says, actually quotes in very cryptic fashion, the Gemara says it, but he gives it to us in, a person should not eat until they've checked they need to go to the bathroom. Okay, now, if I remember correctly, he mentions a bunch of times you need to check where they need the bathroom. Before and after you sleep, before and after you eat, before and after you bathe. Bless you. That's 6 times. And there's another few times as well, I don't remember. Okay, so that's what you should do. You should not eat until you relieve yourself. I think the Gemara says you shouldn't put something into the oven until you've taken out that which was previously in the oven. Ever heard that before? I think that's a Gemara that quotes this idea as well. Okay? And he says, you should you should do something before you eat to warm up your body. You should do a little exercise before you eat in order that your body should, it doesn't say much, could be just a stroll, could be walking daladamot, by the way. Right? Even walking 6 steps may be sufficient for this, but you should warm your body up before you eat. You shouldn't just lie in bed and have breakfast in bed. Okay? Or in some other way. And that's why he says, your main exercise, it's a very famous discussion, should your main exercise be in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening? Well, he's going to say exercise at any time is good, but the best time for exercise, says the Rambam, interestingly, is in the morning. That's when the best time for exercise, a sweat-producing task, is in the morning. And people used to do that. By the way, just to understand, for you, exercise means, going to the gym or going to, I don't know, a spin class. Your ancestors didn't do that, right? Right? They weren't like working in a factory, pounding sheets of metal. They're like, oh, got 1 hour break, I'm going to spin class. It wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Their work, for the most part, involved a lot of actions. They weren't sitting doing nothing. Well, not doing nothing, but not sitting, on a chair doing their work. That was rare. Most people had to do something in order to do their work. Okay? So it means you should do something before, and some physical action before you start your day. Yeah?
The wine thing, was he saying it's good to drink
He
wine?
is going to talk, he does talk about wine, and he does say that wine is good for the body. He actually says, where I live it's forbidden. Where was he writing that forbade wine? In Egypt. He lived in Egypt, and he says, although the Mohammedans make it forbidden to drink wine, he says actually wine is very, very good for you. Okay, so there's a discussion. Nowadays, they used to say that wine is good, and a little bit of wine is good. I think the level of wine, the type of wine, is a lot more alcoholic than it used to be. And they used to water down the wine considerably. But he actually says that wine is good for your body in moderation.
Like after the meal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so a person should do some exercise, they should bathe in hot water, and then they should wait, and then they should eat. That is the way you should be doing it. Okay, a little bit of exercise, even a little bit, just to get your body warmed up before you eat, and obviously make sure that you have gone to the bathroom. Okay, he's going to talk about constipation, by the way, is one of the things that will keep you sick all the time. You got to fix that. Before you fix anything, you got to fix that. Okay, now he's going to tell you how to eat. And by the way, he's writing this in the Mishnah Torah, the same law book that discusses the laws of Yom Kippur and Purim and Shabbat and Shemitah and every other mitzvah. It's fascinating that he actually put this in the same book. This is from the Mishnah Torah. It's just fascinating. Liolam, he says, Kishiochal Adam, when a person eats, Yeshev bimkomo, you shall eat while you are seated. This is why you see many rabbis get very upset when they go to like a smorgasbord at a wedding and people are walking around with their plates, like piling on the sushi, which I gave up, by the way. That stuff's poison, right? Just the rice, all that sticky, sugary wine in it is also very bad for you. Sorry. Whatever, that's just me. You can eat it, you're young. Okay? But people walk around and eating. That, the Rambam says you can't do that. He says you shouldn't do that. Walk around eating. You should be sitting down while you eat, and you should recline on your left. Yeah. Why on your left? Because, well, we see it on Pesach. Pesach we recline because we are free people. B'nei chorin, we're free people. But leaning on the right would be good as well. So he says leaning your left because there's some kind of like physical manifestation, some kind of like throat thing. I think your windpipe, when you're on your right, it opens it up, or somehow the organs that need for digestion are being pressured. Therefore, you should lean on your left. But that's a general health advice, not just to be from people. But why are you leaning at all? Why are you leaning? Why can't you be like, like us, sitting upright? That's how we mostly eat, right? Anyone know the answer to that question? Well, it used to be that people didn't sit on upright chairs. That's a relatively, new invention. People used to recline on, I guess, like a low sofa when they would eat. And they would have little mini tables that were brought to them. And they would actually eat recline. We see it in Middle Eastern countries, but that's the way most people used to eat in the old days. And I guess it changed. It became an upright chair.